Amanda here from createsyourfuture.co. So you guys asked and we've listened. So we've gotten emails, quite a bit of them asking to basically email them when we have a sale or a course is launched by a coach or live meditations get started up again. So we have listened. We have created a mailing list. The link is in the description below. Please sign up for it if you'd like to get discounts on our coaching. Find out when a coach launches a bundle, puts a sale on a course, launches a new course, or starts, offering live meditations. All these things, we're going to be emailing that list, okay? Of course, we'll also mention it on the YouTube channel like usual, but you'll be the first to know on that mailing list. So guys, thank you so much for being here. And we intend that each and every one of you guys manifest your desire. And remember, you guys are perfect. Each and every one of you is perfect, and you deserve what you want to create, and you are powerful, and you can create it. So without further ado, enjoy the coach's video.
Hi guys, this is Erika at Create Your Future. In today's video, I want to talk about why circumstances do not matter. But before we start, I just want to remind you about the contest that we are running. We are giving away some free coaching sessions. All the details are in the description below. I also have a sale in my one-on-one coaching, and I have a course, how to manifest a new specific person if you want to manifest a new person in your life. Now, let's get into it. So I just had this like feeling, and it kept coming to me that I had to talk about this topic. I know that I'm sure if you guys are in this manifesting community, you have heard 1,000 million times that circumstances do not matter. And this is why. The reason why the circumstances do not matter is because the 3D, as solid as it might seem, right, is really, really malleable. So I look at it in this way. It's not like cement. When you are working with cement, it gets hard, you're done, right? It's gonna be very hard for you to change that, whatever you were building with cement, right? But if you're playing with Play-Doh, with clay, well, clay, I don't know if it hardens up too, but let's talk about Play-Doh. If you're playing with Play-Doh, if you're shifting or molding something with Play-Doh, it will always be malleable, right? So that's how the 3D is. It is not solid. You can change that 3D with your thoughts, with your focus, with your assumptions, right? So don't worry about it. That's why they say circumstances do not matter. As solid as the situation might look in your eyes, you can change it. It's also really, really, really good to remind ourselves that that 3D reality that seems so solid, and maybe we're experiencing something that we do not like, as yucky as it might be, it is actually your best friend, because it is just projecting out old thoughts. So whatever I am experiencing right now in my 3D reality is just a projection of thoughts that I used to have before. And that is why the 3D is your best friend, because it's just projecting what was here, maybe it's still here, what we have been predominantly thinking and assuming on a conscious and subconscious level. So it is your best friend. Look at what you are experiencing right now. The good things and the bad things. The good things, good job. You manifested that. Keep having those thoughts, and maybe you can make them even better. If you do not like it, if you don't like that 3D that you're experiencing right now, then just change it. Again, it's not the end of the world. It's not something solid that is just going to stay like that forever. It is not. You can change that, because, again, look at it just like a projection, right? And look at it as that. I imagine like the movie projectors, right, at the movie theaters. When you're watching a movie and in the movie theater, well, I don't think you can do that, right? But let's say that you don't like the movie that you're watching, all you have to do is change the film, the roll, and then the projection that you're going to be seeing on that screen is going to be different. So that's why circumstances do not matter. Also, so yeah, the 3D is just it's your best friend. It's just showing you what you were thinking in the past. It's an old story manifested. All you have to do is change your focus, change your thoughts, and persist in those thoughts. Talking about persistence, I was going to make a completely new video talking about just that, because I had this analogy the other day. I don't know why, but I like to see things in picture form, right? I'm kind of like visual, like I need to see it visually so it clicks for me. So I don't know where this came from, but I had this image of a balloon. Imagine that you have a balloon and you're filling up that balloon with paint, right? You putting more paint. The balloon is gonna keep inflating until it cannot take it anymore. And what's gonna happen with that balloon? It's going to explode, right? And it's gonna be splattered all over. And my analogy for manifesting with that balloon and the paint was that is what persistence is. When you change your focus to the new story and you persist in that new story, it's like you're filling up that balloon and it's filling up, right? That's why you persist with that new story, with those thoughts, with your affirmations, with your positive assumptions. And what's gonna happen is that momentum, that filling up, that new reality, that balloon is gonna end up exploding, right? And like that balloon, that 3D is gonna push out. That was my analogy. I hope it made sense to you guys. I hope that maybe it helps some people to understand it in that way. So that's why we persist. Because what happens if, let's say you're filling up the balloon, right? And you want it to be really big, and then you just put a little bit of paint in it, and then you stop. What happens? Well, the balloon is not gonna get big the way you want it to, right? So if you want it to explode eventually, you're gonna keep putting more paint in it, more paint until it explodes. And that's what we do when let's say we're affirming for the new story. We're doing the affirmations, and then all of a sudden we look the other way. We look at the 3D, or we remember the old story. We remember what they said in the past, and then we're focused on that. And then it's like we stop blowing up the balloon, or we actually let the paint come out, right? And then we're like, oh, no, let's go back. Affirmations, mental diet, self-concept, right? And then it starts filling up again, and then you look at the 3D and the balloon goes again, right? So you cannot be double-minded. We cannot be double-minded. We have to persist in that new story, persist in that the reality that we want from, having it. Like we have to think from already having it. We have to persist in that new story until it pushes out, until we see it manifested. But again, if we are double-minded, and I think Neville used to talk about it, you cannot be double-minded. You cannot think of the new story that you want manifested and then also think about what you're still experiencing and giving life to that reality. You cannot look at the 3D and say, but look, he or she's still not doing what I want. We cannot do that. We have to be blind to whatever they're doing and persist in the new story. Maybe I can put it into an example. Let's say that you have a specific person that maybe you're dating, but your specific person is not really giving you that much attention. They don't text you often, right? And I want abundant communication with them. I want to feel that they care about me, that I'm important, right? I want them to pursue me, to text me all the time, to tell me how much they like me. So if that's what you want, you have to persist in here. Okay, let's take it back. The reason why they're doing that, the no communication, the little breadcrumbs. They're not prioritizing you. They're just doing it because that's what you were thinking about yourself in the past, right? Consciously or subconsciously, you were thinking, oh, maybe I'm not good enough. I never get what I want. Like guys don't, or girls don't, they're not really that interested in me. They just show me a little bit of attention and they go away, right? You only know what you have been thinking, right? And again, it can be subconsciously. So the reason why they're doing that to you that you don't like, it came from you. It projected that from you. So when we want to be treated differently, right, with the abundance of communication, being taken out on dates, being pursued, being feel, you know, you want to feel like you are important because you are. We have to persist in this story, right? We persist, we persist, we persist. So let's say we're doing our affirmations. I'm so loved and adored. I am irresistible. I always get the commitment that I want, the consistency that I want from everyone, especially from this person, right? We're doing our affirmations from the state of having it. But then we look at the 3D, we look at the phone, and we're like, oh, he still hasn't messaged me. What is he doing? I wonder what he's doing. Let me check his social media. Who's this woman? And he went out with a bunch of guys and there's a bunch of girls around. Like this always happens to me, right? You cannot think that because then you're being double-minded. So going back to the analogy of the balloon, you were filling up your balloon, right? It was getting bigger and bigger. And then you looked at what's happening right now and you were double-minded, you deflated the balloon. You can't. You have to be like, I don't care. Okay, you can... Maybe, let's say you went and looked at the social media or you're like, oh, he hasn't messaged me. Again, in that moment, say, no, that is not the reality that I want. I detach myself from being that person that doesn't get pursued, that doesn't get prioritized. No more. This is just old. But I will persist over here because I am a woman that gets, right, all of our affirmations. We redirect the thoughts, meaning we keep filling the balloon. We persist in the reality that we want. And we don't stop until it gets manifested. Because if we keep going back and forth, affirmations, reactions, affirmations, again, reactions to the 3D affirmations, thinking back to what, oh, maybe what he said or he did last week or a month or a year ago. No, we cannot do that. Because then what happens when we're doing both, our focus is very powerful. And when we're doing both, we're just gonna get like, we're not progressing. And then of course we're gonna get frustrated. And that's when maybe you feel that, I'm just gonna give up, right? But we don't give up here. Because let's say you give up, you're like, forget it, I'm not interested, I want someone else. That's completely fine. You can totally do that, that's okay. But if you don't change you feeling that I'm never chosen, I'm never prioritized by the person that I want, you're going to take yourself with to the next relationship. And in that next relationship, you're going to see reflected your self-concept on the next person. So that specific person and everyone in your life is literally your best, well, not your best friend, but your best teacher, because they're showing you, they're the reflection of your thoughts. That's why they say no one to change, but self, meaning your thoughts of yourself, your thoughts of the other person, your thoughts of the different situations in your life, your thoughts, you, right? So anyways, where was I going with this? So yeah, we have to be persistent in the reality that we want until it manifests. We don't stop. Another quick analogy, because I don't want to keep rambling on, that I have for that. Imagine that right now I'm in my bedroom. And if I want to go to the bathroom, right, what do I have to do? I have to keep walking forward. But what happens if I keep 3 steps forwards and 2 back, and 3 forward and 2 back, and 4 forward and 2 back? I'm never going to get to the bathroom, and I'm going to get extremely frustrated, and I'm going to say, I just want to get to the bathroom, right? Well, that's what we do with our thoughts. When we're being double-minded, when we are not being persistent, then we're just like in the middle floating, and it's like we're in this hamster wheel that we're just in the same place, because we're thinking the same things. So no more. So let's be persistent. And that's why that circumstances that are looking like not the way we want them to, they're going to change. Something else that I wanted to talk about, you know, circumstances do not matter, is it doesn't matter what that other person is saying to you, what they're telling you, what they're doing. It doesn't matter. They're only reflecting back to you, again, what you think of yourself. And I say this because some people say, oh yes, Erika, but he told me that he's gonna move to China and that's why we cannot be together. He's breaking up with me. It doesn't matter that he said that or she said that. They're just reflecting back to you. Maybe a thought that you had, an assumption that you have, that love doesn't stay for me, that my relationships don't last, or that people always end up leaving me. So it doesn't matter that they say, they're just reflecting back to you what you were thinking. Or, oh, like maybe they said that they just don't want to commit a relationship because they're emotionally guarded. Again, it doesn't matter. They're just saying that because you have an assumption, a strong assumption that I never get the relationships that I want. The relationships don't work for me, or maybe I'm always rejected, or I'm not valid enough, or right? So that's why it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they told you they're moving to China. It doesn't matter if they're telling you that they like people from the opposite sex. It doesn't matter if I'm just making things up. It doesn't matter if they're saying that they're emotionally guarded and they're not ready for a relationship. It doesn't matter if they're long distance and maybe like they don't have time to go see you. It doesn't matter if maybe they're still in another relationship. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The only reason why they're showing up in your life in that way is because they're reflecting back who you think you are, who you've been thinking and assuming that you are. And you don't have to go back and revisit all your relationships or your childhood and all that. It is important to look at what you've been manifesting, right? But what you have to do is say, okay, if I have been seeing that I keep manifesting, for example, people that never commit to me, then I've been identifying myself with someone I never get the commitment that I want, right? So I just have to change that and say no more. From now on, I don't identify myself with that person, and I will persist in the story from I always get the commitment that I want from who I want. Love relationships are easy for me, that etc., right? So that's why circumstances do not matter. It doesn't matter what they're saying. It doesn't matter the reasons that they're giving you for why you're not getting what you want. They're just reflecting back to you what you're thinking of yourself, what you're thinking of them, or what you're thinking about relationships in general. So all you have to do is change. Oh, okay. Because sometimes they even tell you, I don't even know why, but I feel like I'm not ready for the relationship. And they're telling you, I don't even know why. They have to reflect back to you. They don't have free will. They have to reflect back to you what you're thinking about yourself, what you're thinking of them. So again, that's why circumstances do not matter. They will reflect back to you what you're thinking. So all you have to do is change the thoughts into positive thoughts, the new story that you want, and in the same way they will reflect back to you. I don't even know why, but I just feel like I want to be with you forever and I love you so much, right? That's how it's gonna happen. Anyways, I don't want to make this video any longer. I just felt the need to share this message with you guys. I hope it helped some of you, or maybe all of you. But maybe if I can just help one person and make this click better, then I did my job. Anyways, again, if you need help with your specific situation, I'm more than happy to help you. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, you guys. Bye.